Gilles Bertin, 57, who took part in the robbery of a Brink's storage in April 1988 in Toulouse, arriving at the court in Toulouse. Credit Remy Gabel de AFP, a French punk rocker who handed himself in 30 years after committing a €2 million bank heist, saying he could no longer bear his guilty conscience, has been handed a suspended sentence. Gilles Bertin was given a 5-year suspended sentence by a judge in Toulouse, southwestern France, meaning he can walk free and return to Barcelona, where he lives with his partner and son. The prosecuting magistrate had asked for 5 years in prison, saying that time and remorse were not enough to exonerate Bertin. But the verdict was met with applause from supporters of the singer, who said he handed himself in because "I had to pay my debt, I no longer had the choice." Bertin, 57, was the lead singer in Bordeaux-based punk group Camera Silence, with some dubbing him France's answer to Sid Vicious and the Sex Pistols. The group had a cult following in the 1980s from anarchists and far-left fans in tune with its nihilism. Bertin and the band, Camera Silence, in their heyday then in April 1988, Bertin and some band members, mostly drug addicts, and several infected with the HIV virus, mounted a major armed robbery with the aim of spending the cash before they died. They successfully pulled off the heist, stealing 12 million francs, almost €2 million, from a Brink's deposit in Toulouse, western France. No one was injured in the robbery. In jeans and a grey shirt, Bertin told the Toulouse court that the heist had taken 2 years to prepare in order to avoid violence. Despite their anarchist ways, the court was told that the band carried out a quasi-military operation to such an extent that police first thought they were dealing with hardened gangsters. However, the group then gave the game away somewhat by ringing the local newspaper to boast of their feat. All were caught within a year except one suspect, Gilles Bertin. The reproduction of a photo made on September 3, 1988 from a police mugshot shows Bertin while he was still on the run. Credit Georges Gobet AFP. Hardly any of the money was retrieved and some of the anarchist robbers died from AIDS-related symptoms. Others spent short spells in prison and returned to non-glamorous jobs. But Bertin evaded capture, and spent almost 28 years on the run, living in Portugal and Barcelona, Spain, where he has a girlfriend and young son. He received a 10-year sentence in absentia in 2004. Then, in a coup d'état 2 years ago, he decided to turn himself in. Before his trial, he told the BBC that his decision to come clean came after a near-death experience with hepatitis. After hospital staff in Barcelona saved him free of charge, no questions asked. He realized that he had contributed nothing to society. "I realized I had to tell the truth and come clean about my past," he said. "This is the final stage of a long ordeal that I have to go through. But I am really doing this for my 7-year-old son. He still doesn't really understand what I did during my nearly 30 years on the run. But he needs to know," he said. Camera Silence performing before their bank heist. Bertin insisted there was nothing romantic about the robbery, or the life he led afterwards, which meant losing touch with another 31-year-old son and his sister, in hiding. "Unable to talk about yourself or to people from your past, including my son. Constantly on the lookout in case the authorities find you, and on top of that I was seriously ill. Looking back," he said, "I made mistakes but I am not that same person now. At 57 I am more mature and have nothing to do with that period in my life. Hopefully I will be able to explain to my son the choices that I made back then." In court, his lawyer, Christian Eatlin, said he could have calmly waited for his case to pass their statute of limitations in 2024, given that there was very little chance that police would have seized him at the bar where he had been working for years with his partner and her family. But to lie about his story had become unbearable for him. He came to forget his past to find a future. However, the prosecuting judge called for 5 years, saying that he was astonished to hear that the seriousness of the charges should be washed away by time or the redemption of the accused.